What's going on, guys? This is Foresight Capital, and today we're going to talk about a brand new SEC filing from Ark Invest that indicates they're going to bring a new ETF to the Ark Invest suite of ETFs in a brand new industry that a lot of you are interested in for the coming years. So we're going to talk about that industry, its potential returns, and how Ark Invest's ETF could help legitimize some of the smaller players within the industry that are not yet publicly traded, as well as create some big returns in the companies that are already publicly traded. All that I ask is that if this video brings you value, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing because we do deep dives into what Ark Invest is doing all the time. Also, if you're a returning viewer or a new viewer, consider checking out the Discord for this channel. It's linked in the description below. We've got well over 100 members, a lot of active conversations, and every single day I give a watch list of 2 to 3 stocks that I'm buying or selling, as well as my price targets and even the charts that I'm looking at. I also give an update every single time I buy or sell a stock in live time. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And lastly, if you've yet to take advantage of Weeble's for free stock promotion, take a look at the link in the description below. Sign up for a new Weeble account. Deposit $100 and you'll get 4 free stocks valued at up to $3,700. That promotion ends on January 15th, so definitely take advantage of it soon if you're interested in getting 4 free stocks simply for depositing $100. So Ark Invest had a crazy 2020. When the market returned, the S&P returned something like 16%. Ark Invest or ETFs returned upwards of 100%, with ARKK really stealing the show at over 170%. So Ark Invest has really legitimized themselves as fantastic investors, and Cathie Wood has really become a household name if you've got any investors in your household. So Ark Invest has picked up a ton of cash inflows over the past couple of years. In fact, in 2019, I believe they had something to the tune of $3.5 billion in cash inflows into their ETFs, but that was kicked all the way up to $20+ billion in 2020. So really insane inflows, and people are very interested in investing in ARK ETFs. So today, Ark Invest actually announced that they're going to bring a new ETF to the market, and they filed with the SEC that they're going to bring ARKX, which I can only imagine that it's short for exploration, to the market. And it's going to be an ETF that invests in domestic and foreign equity securities of companies that are engaged in Ark Invest's investment theme of space exploration and innovation. And then Ark Invest defines space exploration as leading, enabling, or benefiting from technologically enabled products or services that occur beyond the surface of the Earth. So a really wide scope of companies are going to be available to be traded in this ETF. And the rest of this reading is going to get a bit dense for about a minute here, but we're going to dive a little deeper into the 4 subcategories that they indicated would exist within the space exploration theme. So it goes on to mention that the 4 sub-elements are orbital aerospace companies, which are companies that launch, make, service, or operate platforms in orbital space, including satellites and launch vehicles. Suborbital aerospace companies, which are companies that launch, make, service, or operate platforms in suborbital space, including drones, air taxis, and electric aviation vehicles. Enabling technologies companies, which are companies that create technologies required for successful value-add aerospace operations, including artificial intelligence, robotics, 3D printing, materials, and energy storage. And the 4th one being aerospace beneficiaries, which is anything that benefits from aerospace activities, including agriculture, internet access, GPS, construction, and imaging. So if we think of those 4 subcategories and the items that they mentioned, there's a really wide range of companies that will be able to be included in the Ark Invest ETF. That means that they won't necessarily be plowing all of their money into companies like SpaceX or into companies like Virgin Galactic, but more so that they're going to have a wide range of stocks that will fall within this umbrella. In fact, I pulled up the commercial space activities list from spacepolicyonline.com, and we can see that some of the big aerospace companies, of course, are Boeing, Lockheed, and Northrop, but it goes on to mention some of the other major U.S. companies that sell space-related products or services like Dish Network, DirecTV, which is owned by AT&T, Sirius XM. And then there's some even more companies further down the list here that kind of fall within the same sort of umbrellas as suborbital companies. And then we've got some non-US aerospace companies. So companies like Airbus are included, which of course is a big competitor of Boeing. We've got Virgin Galactic. So of course that's been a very big stock on a lot of people's radar recently. And then Virgin Orbit, which also launches small satellites into space for GPS capabilities. So there's a lot of companies that are out there that are going to be able to fall under the umbrella of the space exploration. Now, if you've been following Ark Invest for any amount of time, you'll know that they already have a space exploration section on their website. And largely what we're seeing in this filing is the same thing that's already existed on their website. They've shown that they have an investment focus on companies that use reusable rockets, orbital aerospace and suborbital aerospace, aerial drones, 3D printing, and enabling technology. So we've got the 4 subcategories that they've already mentioned were a part of what's going to be primarily invested in within this ETF, and then some of the subsectors of those 4 categories being like aerial drones and 3D printing. So they've already got investments in about 30 to 50 companies that will fall within this ETF. It'll be very interesting to see if they bring new money raised by this ETF into these companies, but also keep investing in them in separate ETFs, or if they pull all of their money, for instance, out of Virgin Galactic and reinvest it into the ARKX ETF. I have a feeling that they won't sell out of all of their holdings and rebuy, because that would create some tax issues that would be a bit of a headache. But long story short, it'll be interesting to see if they continue buying some of the companies that they're already invested in these ETFs, or start scaling them back in expectation that they're going to be using inflows from the ARKX ETF to start buying into these companies. So I think that this could legitimize a lot of the smaller companies that are out there that have yet to go public, and could cause them to start IPOing, DPOing, or even merging with special purpose acquisition companies to get out on the market to raise funds. Because obviously when Ark Invest is creating an entire ETF dedicated to their industry, it brings a lot of legitimacy, not only to the companies that are out there, but to the ones that are yet to be publicly traded. So moving forward, I think we could see a lot of big returns for some of these companies, because as we know, Ark Invest brings a lot of money in every year. They're going to need to plow it into some of the companies that they're already invested in, like Virgin Galactic, like Boeing, which I don't think they have any holdings in currently, but predictably will be buying as part of the space exploration ETF. So a lot of potentially great returns out there for companies that already exist within this industry, as well as bringing some legitimacy to companies to bring them to the market in order to continue growing by borrowing the funds and getting out onto the publicly traded markets. So I think that this was a very interesting filing and could send shockwaves really through the space exploration territory for a lot of the stocks that are already out there. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I just wanted to get this video out quickly, so sorry if it was a bit of a ramble, but I'm pretty excited overall about the ETF and the potential that it brings within the industry. It shows that it's going to be a big industry with a lot of growth in the not so distant future. So definitely be on the lookout for some of the stocks that are involved in the industry, because they could be potentially great long-term holds. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I really appreciate you watching to the end. And if you did, don't forget to take advantage of the Webull for free stocks for a $100 deposit in a new account. And also don't forget to check out the Discord for this channel in the description below, where we can have more in-depth conversations about stocks like these or anything else you want to talk about. Thanks for stopping by, and catch you in the next one.